Hey everyone, so today we are going to work on reassembling the slide for a Taurus Millennium G2 PT111 pistol. If you haven't seen part one, I will put a link in the description. Go ahead and take a look at that. That is the full disassembly of the slide. I took it apart because I wanted to Cerakote it. I ended up doing this along with my new rifle. This one turned out pretty good. There's a couple small areas I wasn't quite happy with on it, but that was partially because it was at the end of my spray. But yeah, so we're gonna try and put this together. You see, I did it in burnt bronze, and I color filled, redotted it, and yeah, pretty happy with the way it turned out, other than a couple little spots. But so putting it back together, this part is probably, this first part I'm going to go through is probably the hardest part of all of this, and I don't even know if I can get it to where you can see where we need to get. I think you can actually see it in there. So there's a tiny little spring in there, and that is where a very tiny ball bearing needs to sit. So that, like I said, is probably the most difficult part about this, because you have to almost drop it into the little groove in there, and then let it roll until you get it into that hole. Like I said in the previous video, I've had this apart before, but it has been a while, so I'm probably going to fumble through it, and I may cut some of it out. But yeah, so that is step one, and I'm going to work on that now. Okay. So this is the very tiny ball bearing that needs to go inside here. So let's see if I have any luck with this. This took me a while the first time I did it. That may be a better technique. Alright, we're back in the hole. Wonder trying to find the best spot to start this. I just knocked it back out again. Alright, slide this in here. See if I got it. Aha! Got it. I believe. You can feel it locking into place. Okay, so like I said, that is very, very tedious. So, see it locking into place there. So that little ball bearing is now sitting in the right spot. So, now that everything is held in place, I need I can get it out of here. Okay. This tiny pin just sits inside of this hole. Just like that. There we go. So now it won't come out. This functions properly. Turn it with the right side of the key. Goes in. This goes in. Functions properly. So this little pin is held in by your rear sight. Just like I said, just sits there. So take the rear sight, slide it back in. I'm going to sight this gun in later, so I'm just going to center it up. Put the screw back in. Go ahead and tighten her down. Alright, that was definitely the hard part. Looks good. Okay, so let's see, what can we do next? I guess let's go ahead and put the loaded indicator in. So that goes right up here on the top. And I redotted that because it was very faded. So that'll look much better. So that sits on a small spring here. So the spring will actually sit inside this little nook on this end, away from the dotted side. So we can get it to stand up in here. Need to leave a little bit of a gap in here for this back section to fit a little bit more. Oh, of course. Alright, there we go. Okay, so now that is in, I'm going to hold it down with my thumb. Grab my pin. See this here. My pin has a little bend in it. Just give this a tap until it sits flush. Alright, so that is now in there. Sits under, got some spring tension there. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the ejector. So, for the ejector, remember there's actually 3 springs in this. So there's the one in the barbell looking piece, which goes in here. Okay. There's this one that is in this small plunger. And this is actually the part that locks this in. So when you're pushing down on it, it's actually locking into this spot right here. So when you have to take it off, that's what you're actually releasing, and then this comes free. Drop that into place. Okay. So then on the side, same deal as with the loaded indicator. There's a spring that sits on the back side of where it pivots. So place this in here. Just have to get everything to align. And just push that down to clear it in this hole right here. And then I think I remember this being a little finicky when I did it last. There we go. You just got to press it really hard. And now that is locked back into place. And you can see it jumped back up into that spot, locking it in. This piece locked into place, not coming out. Alright, so that is the ejector. It is now in place, ready to roll. So next we have the firing pin assembly here. So in the previous video I showed you how to take this apart. This black piece right here splits into two pieces, and you take the tension off of it and it comes out of the spring, and then the whole assembly comes apart for cleaning. Gonna put a little oil on this before I slide it in here. Alright, so that will just slide right back into this spot. Okay, and then that will slide as well. So the next piece is the back plate. So just like in taking it out, we're going to press it this way this time. Hold it in and drop it and slide the back plate into place. There it goes, and you can see it's locked in right there. Okay, so alright, and then after that we have the front sight post, which I'm actually going to be swapping, but I'm going to put this one on for now. So you see it's actually egg-shaped, fits in there, pretty self-explanatory. Place it. It's kind of a tight area in here. Get it, just kind of maneuver it around to get it to line up. Tighten her down. This will obviously need to be sighted back in. Okay. Right. So, of course, after that point is just your basic reversing of your field strip. That's it. I think it looks pretty good. Much better than before. I will obviously be oiling this gun. There we go. I think it looks pretty good. Turned out decent. Like I said at the beginning of my first video, I apologize. Been getting over a little bit of a cold, so thanks for putting up with that. And thanks for watching. If you have any questions, I guess put them in the comments below. I can see if I can answer them. Like I said, this was only my second time taking this gun down. But again, I hadn't been able to find any videos online, and I wanted to be able to share this with you guys. Obviously, it's easier to see it done than trying to read about it. So, yeah, let me know what you think of my video. Like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.